I'm Andrew, and I'm going to show you 2 cool gifts I made for 2 of my favorite people. Jimmy DiResta turned a screwdriver like this into a very cool bottle opener, and I wanted to reproduce it. I found the longest, skinniest screwdriver I could. And you know, Jimmy did this in about 20 or 25 seconds on his video. I'll put a link to it in the show notes so you can check it out. It took me considerably longer, even sped up here. Part of the problem is trying to get all the right angles in all the right places. This first bend needed to be really sharp, and I couldn't do it just with a pliers, so I had to heat it up and actually pound it out on the anvil of my bench vise. Then it's just a series of subsequent bends. If you're going to try to do this, I suggest you do what I did, which is go to Jimmy's video, pause it when he shows you the completed thing, and then try to guesstimate all the right angles. It actually was pretty tough. And even when I thought I had it mostly in the right shape, I had to go back to my vise and do some tweaking in order to get it to the point where it would actually look like it would open a bottle. But in the end, it worked out pretty well. It only took a little bit more tweaking and cleaning up from this point. For this project, I'm working with a really beautiful piece of white oak. I bought it from a store that sells reclaimed construction materials. Now, I don't have a joiner or a planer, so I'm going to try to clean this up the best I can using mainly my table saw. First thing I wanted to do here was get 2 parallel edges. I was hoping to be able to clean up the faces on my table saw by just bringing up the blade and making really shallow passes on it. What I didn't realize is that this board had a twist in it, so there was no getting it straight. Really all I was doing was just shaving off the top layer here. I had to go back and sand it down to try to get it as flat as possible. Once I realized it wasn't flat, I decided to go after the other surface just with my belt sander and get it cleaned up as much as I could. Then I tried to smooth out the side I attacked with the table saw the best I could. Then I used a 1/4 round bit to give it a nice profile on the top edge. The underside I wanted to look a little bit different, so I used a chamfering bit. Then I needed to do a little bit of layout. This board was a little under 6 inches, so rather than do the math, I turned my tape measure diagonally and found the 3-inch point. That let me know that I was in the center. Then more layout to put 4 evenly spaced holes in the middle. I'm working with a really big Forstner bit here. It's 2 inches. I really just want shallow holes in the face of that board. Make sure you clamp it down if you're using a bit this big. It really wants to torque the wood. I've got a couple drill presses that I'm trying to Frankenstein into one decent drill press. We're going to do that coming up in a future video. It really would have helped out here. It took a lot of tweaking to make sure these holes were the same depth and that they were square. A drill press would have made that super easy. Then I finished it with some wipe-on polyurethane. I put a couple coats on here. This wood is old, it's nice and dried out, and it really soaked it up. I was really amazed at how great this wood looked with a little bit of finish on it. And here it is all together. And then I had to give the old bottle opener a dry run too.
I think handmade beats store-bought just about every single time, and I hope that this inspires you to make something for someone to show them how much you care. My father-in-law Jack has taught me so much about home improvement. He's taught me how to hang drywall. He's tried to teach me how to do some electric work. We built projects in the backyard together as well. I really hope he likes the gift I got him this year. My mother-in-law Debbie hosts all the holiday events, and I hope she likes this candle holder in her house. Thanks for watching, and if you don't mind, take the time to subscribe. It means you won't miss any future projects, and I try to put one out about once a week.